Ladies and gentlemen, another week of the playoffs is out of sight. Wasn't loads of matches, mainly in Div 1, all in Div 1, apart from just one in Div 2. We're ready. We're seeing the stars. We're going, blasting off into outer space, but outer space is the playoffs. Steve here with Tebbs, Gridiron Hub, The Rundown. We're ready to talk about it. Are you ready to listen? Of course you are. You're here.
Oh,
Let's get into it right now.
And join in. It's an interactive show.
Yeah, it is an interactive show. Don't be scared. You know,
Yeah.
you can be a first time watcher, first time caller. You know, was it?
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hear me with some of those.
Yeah, cool. So what I wanted to start with, which probably most people don't want to hear, but just to finish off and put to bed, at least for now, the IFAF yard and some other stuff from last week. Are you getting some weird? I'm getting some weird like feedback buzzing. I don't know if
I'm not.
Okay, cool. Maybe it's just me. Hopefully it'll stop. Anyway, yeah. First of all, one thing. I had someone contact me after they'd watched last week's show on demand. I watched it back the next day. And explained to me that varsity is because I don't know much about Uniball. Oh, I know bits, but I don't know like loads of the history. And yeah, varsity is actually university versus university, all sports going against each other on the same day. Because I was like, why don't they call it a bowl? And it's obviously bigger than that. It's so that was quite cool learning that. I quite like the idea of varsity. I bet it's quite a high octane day of
It is. It is.
And stuff.
I only did one because Hull Sharks. You know why? Basically, it was finish the game immediately on the beers. Express Bosch go home. Nice, lovely day. Sun was setting.
That wasn't what I was expecting. I meant
what do you mean?
like proper competition, people hating each other.
No, so
wanting the bragging rights, wanting to win, wanting to take the W
problem,
to their.
The problem that you've got is that a lot of players won't play their varsity. They'll go and do something else. So, like for Lincoln, we had like a bare bones squad of people. Just like we had a few people who never played O line before, having to do D and O line. It was a very bare bones squad.
Why aren't they taking it seriously?
Because it's not a league game.
But it's varsity. But it's like I found out that Portsmouth play against Southampton. I was like, right, there's no excuses. You don't come back to Pompey unless you got wins. If you lose to Southampton, you stay there. Like, that's how it works. That's the rules. That's the rules of Portsmouth and the rivalry between the two cities. So I expect the same from Sheffield v Sheffield. Or I've started to learn a little bit about who's versus who. So it was Lincoln Hull, was it? The one that you just said? And I think it was. Is it Brunel, Surrey? Oh no, Royal Holloway, Surrey.
Yeah, Brunel is St Mary's, and they're a big rugby university, so they don't play American football. Unbelievable stuff.
And it's got to be, I'm guessing Oxford, Cambridge, right? Like, or is it Oxford, Brooks?
I think it's Oxford Brooks because they had a match that was like for like a shield that Lancers won.
That's so disappointing.
Would be good. Lancers versus Pythons.
But the boat race bowl.
Boat race bowl.
Anyway, so that was news for me, sort of a correction. And then the other thing we talked about was the IFAF yard. There's definitely an echo on this. Maybe because it's coming out of my speaker. There we go. Sorry.
Well done, Steve.
Should be good. Yeah, I didn't turn my sound bar down. The one that makes no sense is Derby Hearts. Yeah.
What? That doesn't make sense. You're right.
Is that the varsity? So it's both unis. I was going to say, is that just football? That's crazy? Derby Hearts. There must be some like old rivalry, like the King of Derby and the Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts had a relationship, and then that was like what they wanted to do was fight
at the unis.
yeah, the unis were like, well, we got to fight to prove who
Well, I'll
loves
tell
it.
you
And I
what,
was like,
IFAF yards.
most.
Me put in that I was at like 2.6 IFAF yards tall. That's one Tinder match, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
mate, that was
Which
one of the
is,
best posts we had on Facebook,
can you
Instagram,
imagine?
and Facebook all year. Was
Can you
you?
believe? Can
So
you believe
was
this?
this real, by the way?
Yeah, I put it on there. It's still on there now. It's 275 likes. Only one Tinder match. Snakes. The lot of you. The lot of you.
But you did
You're
get a match.
you're on. Oh, she's definitely gonna block me. She's gonna realize what a absolute fucking mess of a human being I am. And be like, that's a. Wait, you present a Uniball show? Wow, that's really really sad. And then she's gonna block me.
Oh, well, good luck with it, mate, and keep us posted. So anyway, yeah, on that. So I was talking to Coach Steve Rains about it, and he's obviously got a really good understanding of like particularly European football. And he said to me, one of the first things he said to me was, Steve, do you know you've played on an IFAF 100-yard field? And I was like, no, but I get, yeah, you know, I probably, there's me thinking I'm just really fast in Europe, but apparently not.
I think I'm really fast. What is the air thinner? The air thinner in Europe.
Well, no, just the yards are shorter. So
there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, so played in where do I play? Switzerland and Oslo in Norway. So I think those are the
not quite Lincoln though, is it? Not quite Lincoln.
No,
nothing is.
Nothing is quite Lincoln, is it? Like
no, isn't that the truth?
Futile point. But anyway, so he was saying to me like, yeah, I was surprised you didn't know, and we had a quick chat about it, and he said even the yard markers are made smaller. So 10. So it's not a standard 10 yards. You know, they even have adjusted down the chains to make it 10. There's a 10 IFAF. It was EFAF. I was about to say EFAF. 10 IFAF yards, which just amazed me. And he said it wasn't actually due to rugby, because I said, oh, it's probably rugby because of the post. Yeah, I am, said, but I'm almost done. He said it was due to football. So football pitches were more prevalent with stadiums throughout Europe. So that's why they did it. One of the things he did also talk about was because what they wanted to televise it, and they didn't want people to see that it was a shorter field. So they wanted to create the illusion of a 100-yard field, right? Which is complete, like, you know, bodging it, complete nonsense, like shit, that shit house, right? They invented a fucking yard so that they could show it on telly and everyone would be fooled. But then also what they did was shorten the quarters from 15 minutes to 12 minutes because people were saying, oh, the game takes too long to play. So they took 20% of the game away to cater to German TV, to make sure that it was suitable for German TV. And those rules, because such was Germany's influence for the shaping of the game throughout Europe. Those rules are still in place now. They still play 12-minute quarters, and they still have the IFAF yard. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, when I played in what was EFAF, you play 12-minute quarters, and it like changes the game. Like it's over in a fucking flash.
Jenny didn't know that.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because Coach Rain said to me, "You know why they do that 12 minutes, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's because they use NCAA time." And he went, "No," he said, "The only time you see 12-minute quarters is in high school. NCAA is 15 minutes. It never has been 12." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I just fucking fell for that when they told me it, you know." And that was their justification for it. Yeah, but yeah, it's essentially the Germans ruining the sport. Cutting back, like they cut back on their Volkswagen emissions a few years ago. Yeah, they done the same to the sport. Just everything to hit a number so that the measurement looks.
And now they get an NFL game. Damn.
Yeah. People are going to be surprised. Like, what do you reckon the NFL will go for the IFAF yard?
Oh, but mate. Anyway, Roger Goodell just flipping his lid over an IFAF yard.
Yeah. Anyway, right. So let's move on. I just wanted to finish off the discussion on varsity and IFAF. Should we go into the result? Oh, actually, tell us about newsflash this week. Your synopsis of it.
So there's not much on the newsflash this week. No ejections. No, nothing. Just a couple of pitches not being marked correctly. Nothing particularly funny. No one's been ejected. No one's been banned. Nothing funny. So I guess this means that playoff teams are actually real playoff teams and they don't get flags. Give me more shithousery. Not massive shithousery, but just enough to get it in the back for a newsflash.
Maybe not playoff teams, but maybe teams that are in the playoffs, as in like players that are worried about progressing through the playoffs and missing their playoff game.
Yes.
Maybe that's like, I don't think it necessarily speaks to the quality of the teams per se, but more so discipline is a lot more important when you're facing, when you're in a knockout competition, right? Imagine that the final just be full of holding and punches swung and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, people playing their last game.
It'll all come back. Yeah, I'm not playing again. Fuck this. I won't even play fine. So anyway, should we get into the game?
Let's get into it.
So we'll look at the results first, and then we'll go back and we'll look forward to the semi-finals, right? So we're going to start with the errand result, and actually there's a lot of really good talking points from this. The reason I say it's errand is because it was the only quarter-final played this week for Div 2, because it was the game that Greenwich Mariners didn't have enough players for. Let me just get it up while I'm talking. Greenwich Mariners didn't have enough players for, and then I sort of called them out saying they're playing the COVID card here, but obviously there's nothing substantiating that. Anyway, the game was played the weekend just gone, yesterday, and I'll just wait for that to reload. Sorry, what's going on there? Yeah, there we go. It's a bit bigger. My prediction came true. So I said,
and
I have been saying that the Greenwich Mariners are a dark horse, and they proved me right here, because they were the 8th seed beating the number 1 seed. But my first reaction to this is, if you play for the Oxford Lancers, you've got to be feeling a bit sick, because they should have just said to him, well, if you can't play this week, we don't want to have a bye. We don't want to miss our bye week when everyone else is resting. Take the L sort of thing. And they didn't do that, and then they got beat.
For me, it was the score that was surprising, 31-6.
7.
Was it?
I think so.
No. Well, apologies.
I got it wrong. Usually I get corrected hundreds of times if I get a score wrong. So I'm
hundreds and thousands of times.
Yeah.
So, the score surprised me. Like, I don't get me wrong, I hadn't been saying Greenwich Mariners have been like the worst team in the league, but Oxford Lancers impressed me in their last few games against the Oxford Brooks Panthers and the Brighton Panthers, who were sort of leading the division until Oxford just came in and went, nah, you're both, sorry, Rob, nah, you're both not very good. We're here. So I was like, Oxford are going to ride that wave of momentum of beating 2 teams that, I thought were quite good. What's 31-6?
No one cares. But thank you, Giuseppe.
But I was right, so that's what matters. I was wrong about the game, but right about the score. I was wrong about the game, but right about the score. That's what matters, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what surprised me. I thought Oxford would be on a wave of momentum. Could that forced bye week, I guess, due to Greenwich saying they had COVID, could that have put a halt to it? Maybe, but at the end of the day, Mariners advance to face KCL this week, and then whoever wins Kent and Bournemouth. Bournemouth. So,
well, hold on, we're not talking about semi-finals yet.
No.
But what I wanted to, so did the scoreline surprise you? Did you think, like, I mean, I think you're in the camp of, like, if Greenwich do win, then they sort of scrape a 2-3 point win, right? Like, not 25 points.
Yeah, 100%. I just thought Oxford had more gas in the tank after beating Brighton and Oxford Brooks. That was my thoughts in my decision to pick them last week.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so that was that game, right? We will come back to the semis. Let me just. Where are we?
There we go.
Div 1, right? So we're going to look at the games that were played, right? Should we start with the 2 games that we were at, because we got more to say about them?
Let's do it.
So let's start with you this time, because I think I started last. I know, fuck it. We'll start with you anyway.
Yep.
Because so you guys won't know this, but me and Tebbs message each other throughout the day while we're at a fucking game, giving each other updates as well as doing tweeting and taking pictures and videos. And it's
follow Gridiron Hub 1 on Twitter for live updates.
It's hectic. It's hectic, but it's good. I actually enjoy being at a game, and like I'll just quickly mention the Portsmouth sidelines sort of were cool with me being like. I wasn't in the middle of anything. I never got in anyone's way, but I certainly wasn't like stood where the spectators were. You know, I was sort of like a little bit forward, and that was quite cool. So I've got some good shots of everything. But anyway, yeah, I quite enjoy being at a game and sort of, you know, almost like having a role. Anyway, the reason I was talking about that was that you at one point messaged me. I think it was 3 messages in a row about the Sheffield Hallam QB.
Oh my god!
So I really wanted you to sort of wax lyrical about let loose on this guy, because you seem to he seems to be like a new love for you.
I believe his name's Dan Johnson from the report that SJ put together. SJ, what Lucas reports? Yeah, because in the report, SJ said he'd thrown for, I believe it was either 32 or 34 touchdowns, and I was like, he's thrown for what? No, he hasn't. They've sent you some padded stats. After watching this game, I believe it. He honestly, it was like so good to see, because obviously, like, you know how Uniball is. It's very run heavy. It's a very rare that you get a quarterback that's just like, the old adage of, fuck it, the receiver's down there somewhere. He did it though. He got a beautiful one through a double coverage situation. Oh,
let's check come up.
Oh, chef's kiss.
Was that good?
It was that, and obviously his receivers great.
Yeah,
great. Like obviously watching that game, Hallam went up. They had a lovely pick 6 as well, but Loughborough, you know, the one thing that I can sort of gather from them is they're a second half team. So I wasn't ready to call them out at half time. Hallam were able to ride the Loughborough second half wave to a win. And it was, you know, good game. It's one of the more active games I've played in terms of being competitive up until the last minute. So yeah, but Loughborough, again, very good team, very big squad, as you'd sort of imagine from the sports uni such as Loughborough. But that's it, you know. Sheffield Hallam, they take it. They're going up to Newcastle.
Does Sheffield have a run game?
They do, but it wasn't as successful as Loughborough's. And you know, it's more so just the spectacle of seeing a Uniball quarterback just absolutely gunsling. It was just revelation to me. It was, you know, I've watched how many games of Uniball this season, you know, an X amount of senior ball games, and like one NFL game live. He's probably I would guess behind Lawrence and Tua, he's probably the 3rd best quarterback I've ever seen actually live. So he could put that on his CV if he likes. But yeah,
it's quite a statement.
I was tempted to go up and ask for an autograph, but again, I don't need any help with people thinking that I'm sad. The worst part is that I got a message after the game from, I guess, the social media guy at Sheffield Hallam, basically saying, "Oh, where were you?" And I was like, I basically said to him, "Well, I didn't really want to come down on the pitch because Loughborough know that I said that I thought Hallam was going to win. I didn't really want to go and stand on the home sideline, but then I didn't know if anyone from Hallam, you know, watched the show. So realistically, I could have gone and stood on the Sheffield Hallam."
I've got like what I tend to do when I go to watch a game. I'm pretty much neutral, right? Like in every game I watch, I tend to go to the home team sideline because I can see the yard markers and the sticks easier.
Yeah, but the thing is with Loughborough's pitch, as I showed you in a picture, next to where they play American football, they've got a great big hill where you can oversee and just look at everything. And you know what? If I had to sit on that hill again because I thought, you know, Loughborough were going to spit on me, fine, I'll go and sit on a hill. Though I did get up and my Levi's did look like I shit myself, but you know, should have bought a blanket. Unbelievable stuff. That's my L of the day.
Cool. Chris Green has popped up and said he was at the Pro game, and I've sent him the link, so he might pop on once he does his hair and whatever.
Well, speaking of that, like we can. Oh no, we'll talk about your game first. We'll talk about your game first before we get into Pride.
Newcastle and NTU. It'd be good if we had someone to come on and talk about that actually as well. We should have really thought about this. Anyway, let me talk about the game I was at, which was Portsmouth versus Exeter. That scoreline does not do the game justice. It was a fucking great game. It was so good to watch. I was on the Portsmouth sideline, as I said, like taking pictures and doing bits and pieces. And even prior to the game, Coach Cliff, their head coach, came up to me and introduced himself and was like, "Are you Steve?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then we were chatting for a bit. And quite interestingly, some of the stuff we chatted about reflected on the game, which was like, I don't know, eerie in a way, because like I was talking to him saying, like, obviously I'd just seen Exeter play against Holloway last week. And I said the way that I saw, and I think I described it on our live stream, was that Holloway seemed to be quite a constant team. Exeter have like periods of sort of like up and down. They'll have a drive where they come on and they just fucking chew up yards, and then they have drives and they have 3 and outs, and you're like, what the hell was the difference there? Like you send a different team on, and the same on their defense. And what I said to the coach was like, you want to obviously try and ward them off when they're doing really well, keep them out of the end zone, keep them off the scoreboard, and then capitalize when they're when on the times that they lack a little bit. Hold on, so, and Elliot's just commenting on this, and one of the things that this was what Coach Cliff said to me. He said, field goals and special teams. Special teams, like extra points are massive. Like we see it, like they're just beat Imperial 6-7. He said, and like the difference was that we had a kicking game and they didn't. And he said, and that's what won us the game. And I was like, yeah, God, I didn't think about it. He said kicking is so valuable in this league. And he said, and that highlighted it to me. Well, in regular time of this game, 2 in the first quarter and 1 in the fourth quarter and the dying seconds. Well, there was still a possession after, but under the 2-minute point, I think it was about 55 seconds left. There was so 2 attempts in the first quarter, 1 attempt in the fourth quarter. Portsmouth had 3 attempts in total, field goals, and missed every single one of them. And arguably, you don't know, right? Because you could say, well, if they scored, then it doesn't mean the other team aren't still going to score. But definitely that goal, that one at the end in the fourth quarter, and it looked good. Like I filmed it, right? And I'm going to release all of the video that I've done. I just don't have time to pull it together. Watching it on my camera, I thought it went over. My mate, who was stood sort of just behind me, went, no, it dipped under the bar. So it looked good from where I was, and then both the rest were obviously, saying no good. But I mean, Portsmouth must be gutted, because one of the things that Coach Cliff said to me was like, he said, there's no expectation on us. Everyone thinks we're going to lose this game. He said it's a great place to be because everything's a bonus, and I was like, yeah, and I think that's sort of how, like I said, like Brunel would feel against Pride. Like everyone's expecting them to lose. You can just you can play without any expectations on your shoulders. And both Portsmouth and Exeter were class. It was so good. Then so it went into overtime, and like there was a lot of cool. Green has just come on. I won't bring him in just yet. One thing I did want to sort of bring up, there's an 8-person, I did say 8-man on Twitter and someone corrected me, 8-person ref crew or 8 ref crew there. I don't think I've ever seen 8. I've seen 7. Like in Europe, they're always 7. And as soon as I saw 8, I was like, there's just going to be flags all the time. And there were quite a few flags, but it wasn't too bad. But one thing I was worried about was it like slowing down the game. But if anything, having 8 refs felt like it sped it up because everyone was so organised, everything was in place, the ball was reset quick. So I was actually struggling to keep up with tweeting and taking videos and stuff. So yeah, that was quite interesting. Exeter, they had this one player. I think he's number 82. I can't remember his name. Someone's going to probably put it into the chat. I can't remember it, so forgive me. But so I think it's something. I think it was James Bush. I might be wrong, but I'd never heard of the player before or anything. Tall lad, like athletic looking. Yeah, it's James Bush. Someone's just said, "Mate, what a player!" Everyone's got a few people saying it. What a player! The first punt that Exeter did, obviously on a fourth down, it was like 4 for maybe 4. He was the punter, and he took it. He faked it, sweeped it to the right, and people just can't tackle him. He's just like a battering ram, and he's fast, like extremely fast for someone as big as he is. He had, I think, and I may be getting this wrong. I'm fairly sure it was in the third quarter. They gave him a series at Wildcat QB, right? And for the first time that he stepped, like the first play, you could hear the defenders, the linebackers going, Wildcat, Wildcat, run. It's going to be a run. So they knew what he was going to do, and they could not stop him. His first play, he runs for 9 yards. His next play, he runs for like 6. His next play, he runs for about 20. And he gets up, and I'm thinking he's going to be knackered, this bloke, and he was not. He was just fine. Like, give me more. They ended up bringing on their other. He didn't do the whole drive, but they ended up, like, he must have gone, 40, 50 yards in the drive that he did, and then they gave it over to the normal QB. And I can't remember. Well, I was going to say I can't remember if they scored. They definitely didn't score because it was 0-0. But yeah, just like an amazing player. Anyway, he still was in the game. And then when it got to overtime, Portsmouth went first, and they went. I think they went 4 and out. I can't remember what it was, but they didn't score. So Exeter took over, and they got it down to, like, I think it was about the 3-yard line. And yeah, this James Bush, number 82, comes into the backfield. I turned to my mate who didn't see the Wildcat stuff. I was like, they're going to give it to 82, and he's going to fucking score. And I then filmed it. I didn't say anything while I was filming, but yeah, that's what he did, just straight through. They just couldn't stop him. The guy is unbelievable. And I don't know. I don't think it's fair to say he made the difference between the two teams. Like, Exeter have got more about them than just him, but he made a huge impact on their play and their game. Obviously getting the last score. But yeah, it was such a good game. I felt so sorry for Portsmouth, but I think if Portsmouth had won, I'd have felt so sorry for Exeter. Like, it was that good of a game. So yeah, that's my little breakdown. We've got some people commenting. Let me just check. Elliot's
I will say, Steve.
Yeah.
SJ says he's available to come on if you want someone else to talk about Brunel versus SGS in a bit.
Yeah, we can. Let's get. Hold on. Green is just there. Let me just see if there's anyone else that's just the same sort of stuff. We were practicing our red zone defense for the semi. I don't know where he's from, but
Exeter, no?
Maybe. But yeah, it was like a great game. And like I said, the score doesn't do it justice. Both those teams just gave everything, and like, it's weird. Like, the unfortunate thing is that there had to be a winner. Like, that's what it felt like.
Mate, didn't have to be. Triple threat, Brunel, Exeter, Portsmouth. Give me one of them. That's all I want.
Right. But let's bring Greener in. He's been waiting patiently. Hello, mate.
How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Good. You might lose Tebb on audio because he's awful with it. But
shut up.
So you were at the Pride game. I remember, actually, Greener, you said something. You were very overconfident last week, weren't you?
What did I say? 100-0? Something like that?
No, you did. Well, you just said, actually, what you said came true. Was like, there's no chance that Brunel are even going to score. Something along those lines, which fair enough, that's true. But
no,
I think you were.
That was about the Leeds game.
Was it? Okay. So yeah, what prior to this game, what was your expectations of it?
Well, obviously on paper, you're looking at how many points Pride have put up and what they've done this season. Was expected it to be more of a blowout, but actually it was quite a big battle of the defenses.
Yeah.
Watching the game, Brunel's front four on their defensive line were big. Like, they had some big units there, and Pride, like, they've got quite a lot of young guys that are just starting out and whatnot, and they couldn't really. I don't think their offensive line could deal with the defensive line as much, so they couldn't get a lot going on offense. The problem with Brunel was their QB. He threw, I think, 4 or 5 picks in the end.
No, I think it was 6. I was told.
Might have been 6. Yeah, it might have been 6, but he probably dropped 5 as well. It could have been 11. Literally.
So from what I've been told from what I've been told from SJ, apparently the QB had a broken thumb.
What, the Brunel QB?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, that would make sense of how horrid he was throwing the ball.
Was he just like catapulting, like putting it cup in his hand and then just going like slinging it?
It wasn't like grenades. Like, he threw a nice scroll a few times, but like, okay, fair play to him if he was playing with a fractured thumb, like, but it just looked like they were just throwing.
Whoa,
it up.
why fair play?
Me,
I don't think that's fair. I think that's fucking stupid because you threw fucking 5. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not fair play. You're a fucking idiot.
Also, and I'll tell you why it's dumb, because they had 2 ballers. They had number 23 and number 24, who were really good running backs. And when they got the ball, they looked electric and like something was going to happen. They didn't give them enough touches. That was the problem. Right. If they'd given more touches, I think it would have been even closer than what it was. And the only reason why it was 15-0 is because it was a pick 6 and like the dying, like, inside 2, I think, inside the last.
Yeah, that's what I remember hearing. It was like, yeah, pick 6 right at the end.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a defensive battle. Neither team could get anything going on offense, really. It was Pride had a few chances, but they got down to the goal line, but then they just couldn't finish.
Jesus. But and do you know if Pride had like a full strength squad?
Yeah.
Well, they're all good. Yeah,
they had a few. They had a couple. I think they had one. Their backup running back got knocked out. He had a bit of a concussion, I think, potential concussion anyway. So he went out of the game. But they still had their starting running back, who was on like 1,000-yard season. Like, he was there, but he couldn't really get much going either. Jeremy and Jeremy's a baller, but the defense of Brunel, they stood up. Fair play to him. They did a good job. To be fair.
Yeah. BC saying that that's the best defense in the UK.
Have you seen Huey's defense?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay.
Well, and like, I'm just going back to the game I saw. Portsmouth's D line were unbelievable. Like they were just tearing stuff up. Like, Exeter's O line were decent, you know, but yeah, like it's quite interesting to hear that there's such good D linemen in Uniball. I don't know. It's not a position that I think you would excel at in that league.
Well, Brunel had a defensive lineman. I think he was wearing number 94. I kid you not, he was about 6'6", 6'7", and he was a big unit. I looked at him and I was like, he's a big guy. And then I think they had a guy with a London Warriors helmet on as well, playing D tackle. So they had some decent guys like on defense.
I reckon they just he borrowed that from a London Warrior and then got it, wore it, so everyone was scared of him. Ben said fair play to Portsmouth's D-line. Good players and nice lads too. Yeah, cool. Right, cool. Was there anything else you wanted to say about the game, Greeno?
No, 8-man crew again. Same as
right.
Another 8-man crew, yeah, and they ref the game pretty well, to be fair. There wasn't any...
Yeah, see, like I said, I was expecting, like, if I think back to when European games when there were 7-man crews, you're like, the flags were going constantly, like, oh, come on, just let the fucking linemen hold each other and let everyone else play, right?
There wasn't much flagging at all. Because,
no.
you know, like, sometimes you got 8-man crew, it's like, oh, you're just flagging it to be part of the game.
Just everything. Like, let everyone know you're here. Yeah.
But actually, there wasn't really much of that. They let them play as well. There was a couple of PIs which were sometimes I see get flagged and sometimes I don't. There was a few questionable holds as well, which they did let the boys play, to be fair to them. So they actually did it all right.
Yeah, well, one thing I noticed was, like, I would mention it, like the quick turnaround between plays, getting the ball, getting it reset. Like, the rest were just fucking on it, which was awesome.
Yeah, they were there as well. So probably were running quite a quick hurry up at times, like real quick. and they were there. They were setting the ball. The down box was set. It helped that they had a 9th official on the down box as well. So they had another referee there.
No
on
way.
the down box. They actually had 9 officials.
Well, there was actually 10 at the Portsmouth game. There was a ref that must be from the area. He was there just watching, like with me on the sideline. And then and I don't know what this is, but I saw it at the Holloway game as well. There's a ref that doesn't have the uniform on, but he's mic'd up, and he sort of like stands back from the box from the chain crew. Oh no, he was on the home sideline in Holloway actually, but in Portsmouth he was on the away side, and just sort of stands behind the refs there, and just sort of, I don't know what he was doing, but so there was actually
sometimes it's people who are like learning to become a ref, so they're just listening on a radio, and other times I think they're being observed as well. So it could have been one of those.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, one of the funniest things was, so Jim Briggs was at the game. He's like the main guy, one of the main people for Bafra, and he fucked up a call, which really like amused me no end. It's not a big deal. Basically, the team declined the penalty, and then he enforced it, and everyone was like, "What's going on?" And he like blew the whistle, and then he wanted it to start. So yeah, even the mighty Jim Briggs can make mistakes. Just to let everyone know, I didn't catch it on camera, so it's his word against mine, but he definitely fucked up. Anyway, before you go, Greener, we'll get your. We're going to do the predictions in a bit, but can I get your prediction on SGS versus the Demons?
Oh, SGS are going to win.
Have you got a scoreline prediction? Do you think they're going to get scored against?
I think it's probably going to be, I would say 50-0. I don't think Exeter are going to get in the end zone.
Okay, cool.
My defense
right,
is solid.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, thank you for coming on, mate. And we'll speak to you soon. Take it easy.
Thanks for having me. All the best.
Right.
Never say we don't have guests on this show. Unbelievable stuff.
I love having guests on. Was Pride's TD a good play? If someone can answer that so
SJ, you answer.
He means they're obviously their offensive one, not their defensive one. But the dude's 6'8", Seb's saying, the big D lineman for Brunel. Seb, I just remembered. Seb is the Brunel head coach who did the flip last week, 8 days ago. Seb's always welcome on this show. That was quality. Pick from QB on Brunel's 15-yard line, set them up. It says short yardage. From they're the short yardage field. Actually, before we move on, can we talk about? We discussed it wasn't a flip. What was it then?
He wrote on his arse. It was a tumble.
Yeah.
A mistake for Monday morning. No, there you go.
Short run, nothing special. Seat drop. Okay. One thing I think there was quite a key point there, which we did sort of focus on a bit, but I want to get your take on, Tebbs. Should the QB have carried on playing with a broken hand? I mean, he wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have known it's broken, right? He wouldn't have known he had a fractured. Because a fracture's just crack, isn't it? Like it's not like it's gone in two.
So I'll tell you what SJ's just told me when I messaged him. He went, he would have come off if we had a backup QB.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to get at. Okay, cool.
So there you go. That's my answer to the question.
Do you know what they needed?
What's that?
They needed James Bush, number 82.
Number 82.
That's what they needed. They would have beat Pride if they had James Bush, number 82.
Is he your favourite player? Just like Dan Johnson.
He's my favourite Uniball player now. I've not seen better than him.
There you go. So we got Dan Johnson and we got what is it? James Bush. Unbelievable.
James Bush, number 82. You got to always say his number.
Get me a number 2 Johnson jersey, Sheffield Hallam. I'll put it on my wall.
Yeah, we should do some like jerseys. That'd be well funny. Right, hold on. We got some more comments. They should have stopped throwing the ball then. Yeah, exactly. And then they need to hand off to 23 and 24. Yeah. Right. Do we know much about this game?
So Elliot Luke, who I think is watching.
Yes, he is. He keeps talking about kickers.
Yes, he knows.
Are you deferring to him? Is that what?
I know this game happened, but I know that he was there.
Yeah,
because he does stuff with Newcastle. So I know that he's there. And if he was to give us a little hot take, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, so while he might be, he said hello.
Give me some stuff. Give me some.
Yeah,
deets.
let us know. While you're
Give me the
typing out
deets.
Elliot, let's you and I talk about it, Tebbs. So,
Sure.
So without Elliot's insight, what do you make of that as a result? I'm fairly sure I backed Newcastle. You backed NTU.
I think I backed NTU just because
of the previous week.
Yes.
This game.
What can I say? Newcastle Raiders are just dominant. There you go. You know, it seems that the real northern teams, not the Midland teams, because Midlands one has been wiped out in a single weekend. They're both done. But you've got, realistically,
true Northerners. The true Northerners don't fuck about. True
Northerners. Yeah. No, that's it. That's it. You know, all these Midlands ain't a real place, guys. Yeah. You got North, you
Midlands
got South.
with their funny accents that no one can make sense of.
Yeah. Realistically, I'm not massively surprised with the result. You know, Newcastle going on to face Sheffield Hallam. I know you said don't talk about semi-finals. I think that would be a great game.
Why are you doing it? No, we're not talking about them yet. We'll come to the semi-finals.
No, okay. I'm not surprised. Is it a shame? I mean, one team lost, one team won.
So Elliot's mentioned there the big reffing crews. Two good teams.
I should probably preface that the team that I went, the Loughborough Sheffield game, also had 8 officials. I was very surprised.
Yeah. So that's all games had 8 officials. Now, I think that's quite an interesting talking point actually, because as Green has said, and I observe, like the refs are doing a good job resetting the ball between plays to be able to get going again. Well, if you go no huddle, you can really take advantage of that, right?
Yeah, 100%. But you know,
is that something the teams should be considering as they go into the semi-finals this weekend?
100%. Like especially because if we can have multiple, like me, you, and Green talking about it, you know, they could very well be like, okay, we need to make sure you've got your risk coach on and know what Alabama means. Do you know what I mean? Like, it very well could change the difference, especially, you know, realistically for someone, I'd say like Exeter, who, you know, people aren't saying aren't.
Can we? I don't really like calling them Exeter. I like to call them James Bush's team.
James Bush's team. Oh, sorry, no, the Exeter Demons featuring James. No, James Bush featuring the Exeter Demons.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think for a team like that, where like they're in the same boat of no real expectation to win, they can come out the gate and just sort of shock Pride. Very well could play into their favour, especially if Pride are coming off, you know, their lowest points scored all season.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. Interesting here, NTU very undisciplined but talented, and that's something that I think is going to really show up with an 8-man crew. You can't be undisciplined. It will get, you know, everything will get picked up. There was all sorts of like unsportsmanlike from the sideline and stuff being called in the game yesterday. You know, like the refs are like, they're on everything. You know, you're not going to get away with stuff. You're not going to get away with certainly like a play side hold or anything. Not going to be a shock now that you've told everyone. Well, I don't know that everyone watches this, Jack, but we didn't say it'd be a shock. I think it would be cool to see teams taking advantage. We were actually more leading everyone. We're trying to see the best type of football possible.
Well, I picture this. If
certainly encouraging everyone to go no huddle this weekend.
if Exeter do a no huddle play, then you know we're putting down the coaching credit.
Who?
Sorry. If James Bush featuring the Exeter Demons go no huddle this week, then I want a coaching credit because I came up with it.
You can send me a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Bush's teams were a little less disciplined and more flags than we normally see. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think like it's been called out, for NTU, and I didn't realise that was more than normal for the Demons, and it was, I would say, fairly light on flags. There was a lot of free flowing football. It was really good, but if you've got teams that are real disciplined, they're, you're gonna get found out. Like you're gonna get those frustrations. People are gonna get called for stuff. You might even have players ejected, for too unsportsmanlike or whatever. Like you're not going to get away with it essentially in the playoffs, which is it's good, because it focuses more on the skill, on the football, right, and on the game plan or whatever. So yeah, a lot of flags up there too. Pretty much all were correct. Yeah, cool. This has been a good shout out podcast for Baffer, isn't it? Like this is cool to see such a positive influence on what are such big crucial games. You both,
Yeah.
big crucial games in the playoffs. So fair round of applause for Baffer there, because that's quality that we've had so many people reporting back good stuff. So yeah, virtual applause. Right, let's go on to the
Put clapping emojis in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
put clapping
clap
emojis in the clap emojis in the chat, guys. Clap emojis in the chat.
Right, let's look at the semi-final, starting with Div 2 South. Game 5. Tell me what are your thoughts?
God, it's difficult to sort of go against Greenwich Mariners now because they've shocked me, but then again, you've got to understand was I overestimating Oxford Lancers? Seems that I was.
But it seems they can't compete 2 weeks in a row. They always need a week off because they get little niggly injuries or everyone gets COVID. Can they handle the intensity of another game a week after winning a quarter final?
Just for this, like, there's no. I've just, again, whenever I say I've got a feeling, it never ends well for the team that I pick. But I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling, KCL Regents, that you're going to win.
So I went with KCL last week. So because I don't know if you remember, I said Greenwich will win this one, KCL the next one,
Yeah.
Bournemouth KCL final. So I'm sticking to that.
Okay.
I actually, and I'm I stand to be sort of completely wrong here and make myself look particularly stupid. However, I think Bournemouth are gonna make Kent look a bit silly.
Yeah, so do I.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I think look silly might be a bit harsh. A similar scoreline here, like a 31-6. I think I'm expecting from this game.
So do I.
Going in Bournemouth's favour.
Yeah, Bournemouth is going to win. I've not been necessarily high on Kent Falcons for the majority of the season.
No pun intended.
Huh? Yeah, if you want. I've not been high on Kent Falcons, so and Bournemouth have been dominant the whole way through.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay. So we're actually gone for the same teams, which is really disappointing. But okay, whatever. Right, let's go.
I'm not picking Kent Falcons. You can't make me.
These two games. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit so we can see the previous scores.
So let's start with it.
We've already predicted these, haven't we? But let's go.
Yeah, we have.
Then.
Well, yeah, we can do it quickly. So Manchester Metropolitan, Liverpool Raptors. Liverpool Raptors are just, you can't beat Napier Knights. You can't beat Napier Knights and not win the whole thing. So Liverpool Raptors to beat Manchester Metropolitan Eagles.
The whole thing? You actually think they're going to win the final as well?
It'll be difficult between them and Glasgow, but I think Liverpool will win the whole thing.
Okay, I think MMU beat Liverpool, and I do think Glasgow beat Staffordshire. I do, yeah.
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 Sorry,
cool.
Steph.
Yeah. Your fellow Div 2
Midlands. Well, I need the team that beat the Colonials to win it all. So. So we've got something.
Yeah, there's something to hang on to. you've already sort of alluded to you think Sheffield are going for this, right? You think Sheffield are winning this one. That is a hell of a game. That is such a good game.
And if it wasn't in the north, I'd go and watch it. But you know, their gas prices are up.
Are you going to watch any games this weekend? Any semi-finals?
Yes, I probably am. Yeah, I'm probably going to go and watch Nottingham versus Birmingham.
Yeah, I had a look. I'm about an hour and 40 minutes away from Kent, hour and a half from Bristol. But UE are playing and they're at home, so it's probably going to be live streamed. So I'm going to stay at home and watch it.
Well, that's it. That's why I'm tempted to not go because it's live streamed because Nottingham's live streamed as well. So I'm like,
oh, of course, they live stream as well.
How about me and you? We do a stream that's 3 hours long, and it's just me and you doing our own commentary over two separate games at once.
Fuck that. I'd rather just watch it and enjoy myself.
I don't know. There might be one I go to. I just need to figure out where. I'm sure that if someone wants to comment where is close to the Midlands, who've got a game, because all the Midlands 1 teams have been eliminated. I mean, I guess I could go to Staffordshire.
Pankhurst, he's like the under-17s D coordinator or something like that for GB. He said that the game is live streamed at 1 p.m. He also happens to be the OC for the UE Bullets. Oh, Green is going to be on commentary. Yeah, cool. Right. So I'm not going to be at a game this weekend. I think it'd be a bit too tough for me with like arranging this one to Portsmouth was hard, but made easier because my mum could take my kid. The kid that I took. Anyway, so I'm sticking with Newcastle. I said it from this game that I think they're going to go all the way, and I still all the way to the final and get beat in the final by the Pride. Is what I said.
Yeah.
This game, these two have already played each other twice this year. Green has come on. He said 50 burger with a donut. When they played this year, the SGS shut out both times, 41 and 38-0. Doesn't look good, but are Exeter buoyed on by their recent performances?
Who?
Sorry, are James Bush and the featuring Exeter Demons buoyed on by their recent performances and the fact that Brunel have sort of maybe shown that SGS aren't a team of Terminators?
Realistically, no.
Thanks.
I can have you speak a bit lyrical about it, but no. I'm sure that James Bush featuring Exeter Demons, they're going to go in with the same energy that Brunel did, where it's sort of they can sort of do no wrong here. I think they'll put it all on the line, but I don't think they're going to come away with a victory.
Interesting point here from SJ. Brunel, the James Bush and the Exeter Demons may face a backlash from the Pride because they'll be so pissed off at being held to 15 points.
I imagine that they will.
God, that'll be a killer if it's like 50, 60, nothing. But I don't know. I can remember, right? There was a year that I played for a team that we went undefeated and won Div 1 championship, the Knights, 2007 or 2008. And the team that we played 3 times and played in the final against, so twice in the season and then in the final, was the Ipswich Cardinals. They had a load of American imports at the time, so they were like quite good. And everyone was sort of saying it's really hard to beat a team 3 times, right? Like I remember that being like this thing that like our coaches were focused on was like, don't get complacent because the third time you play a team is the most likely time they'll beat you. And all that. Obviously we fucking beat them, right? Like champs. But yeah, like is there nothing in it like that the coaches might have the measure of them? They've studied film. They would have probably spoke to Brunel and got some ideas. Well, I think the best bit of advice that Brunel could give James Bush and the Exeter Demons is don't play with a broken fucking hand.
I mean, yeah, it's not particularly difficult, but you're right. Is it difficult to beat a team 3 times? Yes, but it's the Pride, and I know that is very much a cop out.
That's from Sheffield Hallam.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know it's a very, very stupid thing to say. That it's just very easy to be like, it's the Pride, but it's the Pride. There you go.
So Ben Shaw's pointed out that 2 years ago, James Bush's future. So the James Bushless Exeter Demons lost twice to the Stags. there's no surprise there. How are you supposed to win without James
Without
Bush?
James Bush, yeah.
But then they did win in the playoffs, so I imagine James Bush was watching and was giving them tips on the sideline. So yeah. I can't see past the Pride winning this.
No.
I would love, as you know, I would love a nice competitive game, a bit of back and forth, but I just don't think we're going to see it. I think SJ makes a really good point with a backlash from the Pride. They're going to be fucking annoyed at this probably and want to prove a point.
Yeah, and if I put it like this, if Portsmouth were in that game, I would have went down for it 100%. 200%. I would have been there early. I would have helped. I would have maybe gone on chain crew. But mate, chain crew. Put me on chain crew.
Ugh. So the Bullets and Leeds Beckett. Are we looking at both home team wins here? Is that what you're?
No, I'm not. I think Birmingham are going to beat Nottingham.
Really?
Yes.
That would be cool. Why? Tell me why though.
Because I think the problem is with Birmingham is that they've been sort of trapped under the Bullets, and they've come out now and realised that this is the time to prove that they aren't just a team that is second to the Bullets. They are a good team.
Okay, I'm just going to have a look at some results.
Nottingham have had like one loss to Leeds Beckett, so you can see that Nottingham Gold isn't as infallible as the Bullets are. Whilst the Lions, I think the Lions are on a tear. Like Lions' only 2 losses came to the Bullets, and they've been putting up good numbers, but again they're against teams like Swansea Titans and stuff like that. So realistically, I've got Birmingham.
This is interesting, right? So
I had Birmingham against the Saints, and Birmingham haven't done me wrong as of yet, so I'm taking Birmingham over Nottingham.
So I just looked at the Nottingham versus Saints fixtures. The first one, 39-0 to Nottingham. The second game, 25-21 to Nottingham. So Durham were pretty solid all year. They beat Leeds Beckett 47-26.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and then Birmingham beat them, but they didn't get past Nottingham. So this is it's another example of oh no, it's not. I was going to say another example of teams playing each other 3 times. They beat them, didn't they? Birmingham beat them. But I think that Nottingham are considerably better than Durham. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Birmingham are going to lose. Biggest question is, will Yui have to punt the ball for the first time this game? Hey, we may see it.
I believe.
But that stuff can play with their fucking head, right? Like you haven't punted all season, all of a sudden you got a punt. You're like, fucking punt. What's wrong with us?
My prediction for last week was, I think Beckett's going to be the first team to not lay an egg. I think Carnegie will score at least 3.
At least 3?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, that's my prediction. That's my big shock prediction for that one. I think Beckett will score points.
Are these games the same kickoff time? Because that would be shit. I'd love to watch them like back to back on live streams. I don't know what the kickoff times are, but that's my contribution this week to how to improve Uniball.
Watch them both be 1 o'clock. I can feel it in my bloodstream.
Yeah. That'll be annoying, but anyway, okay, cool. So that's all that done. I think that's everything we had to go through. So I've got a couple of other bits I wanted to talk through, but before we. So Fersman said, Yui's 1 o'clock. I think Frankie's already said that. Insert obligatory kicking comment. Knots are at 12, Yui at 1. Okay.
Oh, great.
Wow. You can watch. You'd like to think that by the time you switch over to watch the Yui game, or by the time that starts, this game's like put to bed, so you don't really miss out on anything. But anyway, Egg incoming, no shot. As I said last week, Leeds ain't scoring, I know. Oh, Greener. We'll see. Right, let me stop sharing this. So, just very quickly, there's a couple of things I wanted to go through, but very quickly now, you guys that were watching 2 weeks ago would have seen I can hear an echo of myself. Is that you?
No.
No. I don't know. I don't think I've got anything on. Anyway, I found some smelling salts online after watching some TikTok videos, and they were like the worst one, like, you know, the most fearsome ones ever, and I sort of called a bit of bullshit on them, and then stuck them under my nose, and I fucking had there's like a flashbang went off. I couldn't fucking see. I couldn't see. My eyes were watering, my nose was running. I can't describe the feeling. So I was like, right, we'll give this away because that'll be funny. But I want to send it to Tebbs first, and Tebbs forgot to pick it up, or couldn't pick it up in time at the post office, so he's got it this week. And unfortunately, Tebbs was already had the mildest of sniffs, which he's ruined it really for me. But Tebbs, you want to just take it over from here? Tell us about your first...
Yeah, I guess. Basically, because like I was thinking, well, maybe Steve's just, maybe Steve's a bit old. Maybe it's just not working for him. No, no, I've got no more nose hairs now. They're gone, obliterated.
You said you held it out here, right? You didn't have it too close.
Too right, and it still did that. So it's more so.
Well, yeah, go on. What were you showing? It can cause death or something. That's what.
There you go.
Very toxic, can cause death. Yeah, it's got a warning.
So if I die,
what's the name of it? Like Hellfire or something?
Hades. It's a Cerberus Hades Hellfire.
Yeah.
You're lucky I'm not Oh fuck me! I just opened it.
You got to put it under your nose.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
What's going on, Ted? Describe your...
It's like when you get pool water up your nose.
It's fucking horrible, isn't it? It's like spicy. It's like it attacks you inside your fucking face. You took 3 deep breaths. Talk about it, Tebbs. Come on, the public are waiting.
It feels like I'm winded. I can't really catch my breath. I can still smell it.
Can you put the lid back on it?
Yeah, the lid's back on it.
Okay, good.
I'm crying.
Oh. Come on, surely you're over it by now. You're still going.
Yeah, I'm over it.
It's unreal, isn't it? Like, so I think one of the things I said when I did mine was,
it'd be really funny if I got a nosebleed.
Oh mate, I'd love it. But like, my first feeling after I did it wasn't like, yeah, give me some weight to lift.
No.
Fuck you. It was, I need to recover. Like, help me. Yeah, mum, someone get my mum. Like, it's fucking horrible. So, yeah. So, but there's a market for that.
It's like you've just snorted like habanero seed. And
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I couldn't breathe there for a second.
I know, yeah, you went, which was hilarious. We'll have to watch it back.
It's got like, if you've got asthma, don't do it.
Yeah, I need to maybe second guess this thing about giving it away, because what if someone fucking cops it? We need to find something to do with it. We might just send it to people each week, and someone else can come onto the stream and
bury it and let it half-life, mate. Also, it doesn't. I'll put it like this, guys. When you open it, it doesn't look like what you think it's going to look like.
No, it's weird, isn't it? It's like well,
Block.
it's salt, isn't it? But it's like a bulk of things. It's like it's like plasticine, like all pulled together and gluey. It's weird.
Let's have another look. No.
Yeah, go on. Put some in your mouth.
I'll put some in my drink.
Yeah. Anyway, a little bit of light entertainment for you. I did have some other stuff to go through, but I'm not ready with it yet, actually. So we'll just skip it until we got less to talk about. Which is and what it is the rules that have come out, and I've been taking screenshots of all like the new things that they've added in, and it's just there is some quite interesting, also quite comical things. So we'll do that on one of the rundowns, probably after the final when we've only got all the. Actually, no, the final week there'll still be 4 games, won't there? Because it's 2 finals on the Tuesday night and then 2 on the Sunday. But whatever, we'll figure it out. But Tebbs, you got anything else to say before we go? Oh, you wanted to talk about the new team members, didn't you?
Yes, I did. So luckily, so we put out a call. Like after last week's show, we got some team members. You've seen some content by some of them. Kit did something on Newcastle. No, sorry, Newcastle versus Nottingham. Trent did a great article and then a piece along with that. Also, something on the combine that happened at SJ's Pride on Saturday, and SJ's been doing.
That was awesome.
SJ's been doing a terrific job with matchups. Like honestly, like if you're like
Alex with the pictures as well.
Yeah, I'm getting to him.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were finished.
No, I'm trying to.
You're building up.
Praise the content. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll go on mute.
Yeah, please do. Christ, I'm still struggling. If you're unsure about like anything to do with the Div 1 games, SJ's breakdowns are, they're fantastic. I got to learn Dan Johnson's name and now trying to figure out where he lives. No. So also,
what shampoo do you use, Dan?
What's shampoo? Who's your favourite quarterback? Oh, he's my favourite quarterback too.
What's your favourite rom-com, Dan?
And then we had Ash, who's put together the sort of animations that we've had. You've seen them. We've seen the one we did for Div 1. Hopefully there'll be more to come, for the games that continue. Then also Alex, who was taking pictures at the SGS Pride Brunel game. If you think you can add anything to the team, even just come to us with an idea. The world's your oyster in terms of creating content here at Gridiron Hub. Put the name drop in, and maybe one day you can be like Sam, who's trying to get me Dan Johnson. No, but yes, that's it. Maybe one day you can meet Dan Johnson. How about that? And James.
Maybe we can get Dan Johnson on for an interview.
Maybe we can get.
And you'll be all giddy. When did you get your superpowers, Daniel?
And maybe we can get James Bush on, and you can be like, "Oh, James."
Yeah. Do you want to run Gridiron Hub? Do you want the whole thing? Imagine we got them both on.
Oh,
I'd leave. I'd leave and I'd watch it. I wouldn't want to waste the airtime.
Do you know what they do? They'd be like, "This is weird, isn't it? Why are these two guys just talking about us?" That's it. Sam knows. Master's degree. Also, just found out you can get grants for PhDs now. So teams, give me a scholarship. Unbelievable stuff.
And look out for this thing, Sport Tank. It's very close. I added another 3 hours of development today, so I'm sorry about that. And our developer goes to Lisbon tomorrow, so I don't think he'll get to it till the end of the week, which probably means another 6 weeks until it's ready. But as soon as it's ready, we'll be out, and we're giving away merch, so you can get hats and hoodies and hand sanitizer, the most important one. But yeah, cool. Anyway, right, let's go.
Sport Tank brand smelling salts. Unbelievable stuff.
Dr. Tebbs. He meant Tebbs. He did correct himself.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, yeah. enjoy the week. It's funny. I always think, oh, it's going to be a quiet week. So we only got a couple of games, and then just nonsense happens. So let's see what the week brings this week. But if you guys have got any footage, any pictures, anything funny to send us, or anything worth sharing, stats would be awesome. Actually, now that we've got some animators and some people that are ready to do stuff. If you've got stats from games, is his name Dan Johnson?
Yeah.
If you've got Dan Johnson's stats,
I'm gonna ask Sheffield. I'm gonna ask Sheffield Hallam for Dan Johnson's stats because I've got a piece of media that I want to make. No, not like that. Not like an OnlyFans, but
make a shrine. You end up like hating him and killing him. That's what's going to happen. Like a stalker.
All right, mate. You just renamed it. You just renamed the whole franchise.
Little voodoo doll.
You just renamed the whole
Fuck
franchise.
You, Dan Johnson. Fuck you and your muscly arms.
You just renamed the whole franchise James Bush, and James Bush featuring the fucking Exeter Demons. Don't get me started.
Hey, I stand by it. You go and watch a geezer play.
No,
He's
I'm not
fantastic.
going to Bristol. But I might. To be fair, if I start now, I can walk up the pilgrimage to see Dan Johnson against Newcastle.
I'll be posting some clips because probably tomorrow I'll pull the clips together and just post them all out of what I filmed of the game, and you'll see his wildcat, you'll see his winning touchdown, and yeah. Alex Bauer said Brunel the best defense in the UK that hasn't been bought.
Oof, that's an interesting one.
What? So a scholarless defense. What's the best scholarless defense?
Yeah, they don't give out awards for that.
I don't know, mate. Hey.
So I think that's it.
Yeah, we're done. A quick show tonight by our standards, but I like that.
Christ.
I can get in and
talks about IFAF yards for 1,000
years.
years.
It would have been even quicker, but I had to finish off the IFAF yards thing. I might even talk about it. I might have an IFAF segment each week. But we got a couple of new people that want to do some presenting. So hopefully, next couple of weeks, guys, there'll be more people added to this, which will be cool. And see you later.